Hi everyone! A few weeks ago in my 10,000 thank yous video hop, I shared with you a box of thank you cards that I made, and I only showed you how I made the cards and didn't show you how I made the box. But today, I'm going to show you how I made the box. So let's head on over to the craft table and get started. Today I'm going to be using the English Garden Bundle from Tailor Made Cards for You that you see right here. And I've printed off a couple of the sheets, not all of them, but I've printed off this one, and then this here actually isn't how you would get this paper in the kit. So what I've done is I cropped it down and then put 4 of them on one page because I just needed them smaller. But what it normally would look like is half the page would be this design and half the page would be this design, and it would actually take up a full page. But the nice thing about digital products is that you can, crop them down to what you need and use them how you need. So that's a plus. And also, this kit is actually made for making journals, and you can do other things with it, as you're going to see today. But if you like doing journals, you are going to love this kit because it has everything you need. All right, let's get started. So I've already cut the top and bottom of my box to the size that I need, and you can pause the video and copy down the measurements right here. Okay, so the bottom of the box is the larger paper and the top of the box is the smaller one. And I'm going to start with the bottom. And also, I will show you that I am using 65-pound cardstock. You can use heavier cardstock if you would like, but this is just what I'm using today. And we are going to be scoring this. And so the bottom of the box, we're going to score at 1 inch and 2 inches all the way around. So the bottom is done, and now we're going to do the top. And for the top, we are going to score it at 3/4 of an inch and 1.5 inches. And we are also going to do that on all 4 sides. So with the scoring done, it is now time to do some cutting. And so on each of these, I'll try to get in close there, we're going to cut right along this first score line and cut off these 2 squares, and we're going to do that all the way around. So let me show you what I mean. Just going to go in here, just like that, okay? And we're going to do that on every corner. Okay, so that it looks like that. Now we're going to do the same thing down here. So we're just going to go ahead and cut that. And cut that. Okay, so we have these little things that stick out on each end. Okay, now we're going to do some more cutting. So on the next score line over, see if I can get this to show up here. There we go. On this score line right here, we are going to cut it to right here. Okay, so just going to cut just like that. We're going to do that on all the sides. Just like that. So now we have these little flaps at each end. And let me show you what's going to happen. we're going to fold on all the score lines, okay? So fold all of your score lines, and I'm doing the bottom of the box first, by the way, because there's something different I'm going to show you with the top of the box. Not really that different, but a little. Okay, so we have all of these folded, and now we're going to take these and we're going to fold those in as well. And almost done. So what's going to happen here is that these little flaps, they're going to fold in like this, and that's going to fold over the top like that. But to make it easier, something that I like to do, and you don't have to, and I'm not going to do it all the way around on camera, but I'm just going to show you, is I like to just kind of do a little mitered cut like that. So just a slight angle. So you're cutting off these little triangles, and that just makes it easier when folding things over it. Okay, that way they're not rubbing up against the top and the bottom. So I'm going to do that on all 4 of these little flaps, and then I'm going to do the same thing on this one. So exactly the same way that we cut this is how I'm going to cut this. Okay, so I'll be right back. Okay, now this one is ready to fold, and I'm going to take this opportunity to teach you something that a lot of people don't know. And it's something that actually made my niece extremely happy when I showed her, because she's a card maker and she wanted to know why her folds always like cracked or frayed. So I'm going to show you. When you score, you're going to have one side that looks like a little dent or a little valley going through there. And on the opposite side, it is raised like a little bump. And a lot of people think you fold it that direction with this being the outside, but that is not the case. You always fold it from this side so that this is on the inside. And I know that may sound crazy to some of you because you're going, but no, it's already pointed out and ready to fold. Nope, you fold it the other way and your edges come out beautiful. So I just wanted to give you that little tip before we move on. And before we put the boxes together, I need to show you how to do the die cutting on the box. So as you notice on this one, I am not folding in the second folds yet. Okay, I'm just folding in the first one. So there is still another score line right here for me to fold on, but we're not going to. We're just going to fold these in for right now, and I'm going to go get my Cuddle Bug, and I'm going to show you what to do. Okay, this is where you really need to pay close attention. So first of all, I cut out a piece of cardstock that I want for the front of my box. And because my printer does not print edge to edge, this piece is actually smaller than you might like. So if yours prints edge to edge, or you have some other paper that you want, you just cut it out to fit the front how you want it to fit. Okay? So this is 4.5 by 5 3/4. So you might want it to be 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, or a little bit bigger, or as small as this one. It's up to you. And I inked the edges to hide the white edges. I love inking the edges of things that I print out, or actually everything, if you've watched my videos. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to center that between these score lines. So those are the score lines that we have not folded on yet. You're going to center that, and then you're going to use some washi tape, something that's not going to stick really good when it goes through your embossing or die cutting machine, because you don't want it to tear your paper. So whatever it is that you use. And then you're going to need 2 dies. Now on my other box I used ovals. You can use circles, squares. Today I decided to use this shape. And for the way I'm showing you today, you're actually going to need 2 dies. And I'll tell you more about the way I did it last time. But for right now, you're going to need 2 dies that nestle together just like this. And we are going to use the small one first. So get that centered where you want it, and then fold your edges in. And actually, if your die is in far enough, you could probably fold both edges in, but I'm not going to. Okay, so I'm not going to fold on that second score line because this will still fit through my Cuttlebug. So now I'm going to get this all sandwiched together and make sure that all my pieces are tucked under so that they don't get snagged in there. And because this is going through two pieces, I'm going to put it through more than once. Okay, so just hang in there. I'm going to run it through and I'm going to run it back, but I'm not done. If you guys have watched me when I do intricate dies, I flip things over. Well, I'm going to do the same thing for this. Even though it's not intricate, I'm going to flip it over because some things just cut better upside down. So let me get this back in there, and we're going to crank this through again and back out. Okay, and before I do anything, I'm going to lift this plate to see if it cut all the way through, and it did. So that is the first part of this. And now I'm going to remove all of this and come back and show you what we're going to do next. By the way, save these pieces. They'll make great little labels for your cards. So I'm going to set that aside. And now I've taken the larger die and I've placed it right around the other opening just on this front piece. Okay? So really easy to do. Just line it up and attach it with some washi tape just to keep it secure. And now I'm going to run this through. And that will be done. Look, that's really cute. I would save that also. I save everything because it's all usable again. So let me get this off and move this and I'll be right back. Now, if you look close enough, I didn't get this lined up good. So there's more space here than there is here, which means this can either be the top or the bottom. You could put a label there, so it'd be great on the bottom, but make sure that when you line it up on here, because this also is not going to be lined up correctly since I did the original one together, then we just need to make sure that they are going the right direction so it still is centered, and that is what it's going to look like. And I'm going to ink these edges because, like I said, I really like that look a lot. So I'm going to do that. And then we're going to come back and we are going to start putting this box together. And I'll show you what other supplies you're going to need, because you will need a piece of acetate or PVC sheet or whatever you would normally use to make a window for a shaker card, because we're going to be putting a window in this. Okay, we're going to start with the bottom of the box. And this is the inside where everything folds into. This is the outside. With it facing like this, you're going to take your double-sided tape. I am using 1/2 inch wide, and I am just putting it right along there. It doesn't even have to cover the entire space, but we're going to do that on all 4 tabs. Okay, we got tape on all 4 tabs, and now it's time to remove this protective layer. Sure. There we go. Okay, and we're going to fold it in, bring these corners together, just like that. You know, just like when you're making any other box, right? It's the same thing. So we're just gonna take that off, take it like this, fold that in, bring these 2 corners together like that, and there we go. Okay, we're going to do this on all 4 of these, and actually There is something else I should have done first, but by golly, I'm not going to start over again. So I'm just going to show you what you can do. And actually, you know what? I may do something totally different. Okay, so we've got this done, and at this point, we should have had adhesive right here on these edges. Okay, now you can still do it. You can still put your double-sided tape right there because it's flat. You can put it on there and fold it in, or you can use a wet glue like Beacon 3-in-1. Totally up to you. Now, I was thinking since I forgot to put the tape on, I would use Beacon, but you know what? I'm going to show you that even with that up like that, you can still add your double-sided tape. So I'm just going to do that right here. And to be honest with you, it'd probably be easier at this point to use wet glue. And I'm sticking my head in the way. Sorry about that. Okay, so I've got that on there. And I'm going to remove the backing. I'm having the darndest time with this tape today. Okay, I'm going to pull that out. We're going to fold that over and fold it down just like that. Okay, now I'm going to go do that to all four sides and just going to put our adhesive on there and fold it in just like that all the way around. Okay? Okay, there we go. The bottom is finished, and with that extra piece folded over like that, it gives it such a nice finished look, doesn't it? Now it's time to start on the lid. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take that front piece, and we have a piece of acetate here, okay? So that's, actually this is a piece of PVC sheet, but acetate works, Duralar works, whatever you use for putting windows and things or doing shakers. So we're going to turn this piece over, and you know what? Let me bring in my craft mat so that this shows up better. There we go. That'll make it easier for you to see. All right, so I'm just going to take some 1/4-inch double-sided tape, and we're going to put it all the way around the edges. Okay, so you could put some in a little bit closer because this is kind of an odd shape, but if you're doing an oval or a square, it'd be a lot easier. And now it's just time to remove all of this and put our acetate on there. And since it's not a shaker, you don't have to worry about things falling out, which is really nice. You just have to make sure that you have, you know, the adhesive on all of the edges here so that the acetate will stick. And cut your acetate just a little bit smaller than what you're, what you're putting it on. But if it does happen to hang over, you can always trim it off with your scissors. But there we go. So we've got that on there. And now that is ready to put on the front of the box. And again, remember to check it out if you haven't cut it evenly, like I didn't have the die exactly centered, but there we go. I have it going the right direction. And now it's time to adhere this on. So I am going to be using some liquid glue as well as some double-sided tape just to make sure I can wiggle it into place. In fact, I might only use the Beacon 3-in-1. I just like to have that wiggle room. So you can use whichever adhesive works best for you, though. It's really important to use what works best for you because we all have our favorite things. And Beacon is mine. You've heard me say that a million times in my videos. And I really prefer it over anything. Of course, I'm making a mess with it right now. Okay. So I've got that on there. And I'm going to get this lined up. Again, let me make sure that I have it in the right... Yep, I do. Okay. And I'm not just eyeing it here, for that edge, but I'm also checking out the other edge to make sure that it's going to be straight with these score lines. So watch your score lines while you're putting this on to make sure that everything lines up just the way you want it to. And this is why we're doing this before we put the lid together, because you want to be able to have it laying flat. Makes it easier to work with. And see, with the wet, even though I just pressed everything down, I was able to move it just now because I had kind of got it, you know, at an angle there while putting this on. Okay. Now it's time to start putting this box together, and we're going to be doing the same thing. So we're going to be putting on double-sided tape on these tabs on the outside part, and to make life easier, when we flip it over, we will put double-sided tape on these flaps right along here. Now, if you want to watch, I'm going to go ahead and speed this up for you. Okay, and as you saw, I almost forgot to fold on those other score lines, which was really helpful for folding the box in. So please remember when you're making yours that before you start taping it together, fold all of your score lines in, and you will have a beautiful lid just like this. And it will fit beautifully on your box just like this. Now, before I show you the beautiful cards that I made, I wanted to show you the other lid from the video I did a few weeks ago. As you can see, it is a little bit different than this lid. So what I did was I used washi tape to hold all of the layers on at the same time, just like we did with this one. And then I cut it all out, so it's just the same. I didn't use two different sizes like I did on this one, so that is another option. And here's the finished box, decorated with flatback pearls and flowers and a label. And here are the beautiful cards that I made to go in it, and they were all made using papers and elements from the English Garden bundle that I used to make the box. And I was going to do just birthday cards this time around, but I decided to do a variety of cards for this box. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you like this project. And be sure to click where it says show more down below, and it will drop down and you will find links to everything. You will find links to the English Garden bundle that I used today. You will find a link to Tailor-Made Cards for You, which is where I got that from. And you will find a link to Crafter's Castle Challenge, where you can enter your beautiful creations for a chance to win a prize from Tailor-Made Cards for You. And you will also find links to the design team's videos where you can see many more projects to inspire you, because you're going to love them all. Happy crafting, everyone. Bye-bye.